Welcome to take 462. I always struggle when trying to do this kind of talking in front of the camera, but hopefully you have been missing me here on YouTube, and hopefully I will be able to not disappoint you this time by not updating you as regular as I want to. If you follow me on social media like Instagram, you know that I haven't been lazy this year either. It's just that I haven't had the time or energy to get the YouTube channel rolling again. But rest assured, we have been filming as usual. I think we have some interesting content coming your way, and I'm excited to get back in the YouTube world again. So my idea is to start this off by doing a recap of the 2021 season, because I think that year explains a lot of why we did certain upgrades and certain decisions for the 2022 season. So I thought we would be doing this the best way by doing 2 or 3 videos covering the season. In this first part, we will be going in more to how the year started, a little bit about the first dyno session and also the first test drive. The next episode I think will contain more of the events from the year and also some problems we encountered during the year, and also the last part will probably be more of a summary of all the things that happened during the year and what we wanted to change for the 2022 season. So as I told you, excited to be back. I hope you feel the same, and let's get rolling on part 1 of the 2021 recap. What's up guys, welcome back. Today I'm at the shop and Andre is here with his friend, and today we're going to try to troubleshoot the bands a bit. This is something we usually do maybe in October or November, but due to us moving I didn't have the time to do it then, so we're way behind schedule. But today's time to troubleshoot the car, make sure everything is fine, because the first event of the season is coming up fast, and we have some problems with the car idling a bit uneven. So today we're going to try to run the car really warm. We're going to do a compression test and see if we can find any differences in the compression from the number 6 to number 1. And yeah, an overall check. We're also going to try to prep for some things I want to change in the back, and yeah, do an overall checkup of the car, maybe have a clean while it's sitting outside and getting warm. So yeah, let's get to it and see what happens. Se där, det var någon 21 utan den där. 22. Nej, 22. 4 bar. This is not good, but yeah, that was the thing that we didn't want, but yeah. Let's continue and see how the rest of the cylinders are doing. As you saw there, we have a low compression on cylinder 1, also a bit low on cylinder 2. So what we're doing now is that we're going to perform a leak down test. So we're kind of pressurizing the cylinder, and we're going to discover if we have a big cylinder leak, and then we're going to listen to in the intake, in the downpipe and in the ventilation, and see where the sound comes from. So that way we will figure out if it's in the downpipe, Then we have bad exhaust valves. If we have it in the intake side, we have intake valves that are leaking, or if we have in the crankcase on the top here, we have something that's leaking around the cylinder, around the piston rings. So we're doing it with a pressurized tube because we don't have the pressurized air right now, but it should be good anyway. So we just put the engine in top dead center on cylinder 1, and we put this to 7 bars, and now we're going to hook it up and see how it looks. So he's just making sure the engine doesn't rotate. So, yeah. High. So we have a high leakage, about 75%. Hur låter det va?
Ja, det blåser eller?
Yeah. So that unfortunately looks like we have bad cylinder rings, or piston rings. So that's not good. That's a bit bad. Well, fuck. So I go closer here and you can hear the sound. That's the hissing sound. That's because pressurized air is coming through the piston rings and going through the crankcase ventilation up there. So that sucks a bit. I found the leak. Oops. Oops. Good morning, guys. Saturday. Me and Andreas here because today we decided on ripping the engine out. So yeah, we have like 4 weeks until the first event of the season. So we decided it's better to yank the engine out now, try to fix the piston rings and reline the cylinder bore so it's smooth, and then change to new rings and make it good again. So it's better to do it now in the beginning of the season and have this car tucked away and ready to drive when we want to, and then we can focus on the K70. So not much to say. We're going to try to organize the garage a bit to get the first big job done in here and get to work. Well, that's pretty much the big teardown. First step, we're going to take the bottom end next. Now it's time to see if the cylinder bore looks okay or if it's completely devastated. So hopefully everything looks good. Let's watch. Let's see. It doesn't look too bad, I think. Should be alright. Should be alright. Hopefully we'll just get away with resurfacing the cylinder block in the bores. So yeah, it looks good. So grateful for that. I have a broken ring here. Well, that wraps up today's work. As you can see, I removed everything from the block and I got the chance to look over the pistons and the cylinder block, and it seems to me, fingers crossed, that the cylinder block is okay. Unfortunately, one of the piston is cracked in the piston ring area, and also one of the piston rings has cracked and let go of a piece of it, so that's why we're losing compression on that cylinder. So right now I have packed in the cylinder block into the car, and tomorrow I'm going to be dropping it off, and hopefully he tells me that it will only need some machining and not to bore it to a different size. So that's it for today. Hopefully we get some good news tomorrow. Almost 2 weeks has passed, or 2 weeks has passed since I ripped apart the block. So we dropped it off at the machine shop and he got around to hone the cylinders. So we got that back. And after that I took it over to my friend John. He works at a place that has a lot of machinery. So he helped me remove all the residues from the old head gasket. And we also make sure we clean the block completely done in a big cleaning machine. And then we lubed it up and made it ready for putting it together. So as you can see now, we have really nice cylinder walls again. So you can see here, really fresh, and it's good to go. So what am I going to do today, you might ask? Today I'm going to take the pistons apart, removing the old rings. I already started a bit here. And also we checked over the old pistons, as you can see here. The old piston on cylinder 1 was really cracked, really much more bad than I anticipated, but luckily we have a spare one, so this is prepped and ready, so we just need to put some new rings on it. Luckily my friend Joakim Andersson, he's also a drifter here in Sweden. He managed to hook me up with the parts number for new OEM piston rings. So the task today is to grind these to the correct specifications and make them fit for each cylinder. So it's going to take a while, but it's going to be worth the work. So also I want to do a shout out to Speed Cut Motorsports for lending me their piston ring filer. So just a simple little tool, but it helps out so much to get the gap grinded to the correct specification. So that's it. Let's get to work and see what happens. What's up, guys? Now it's the day, 1 day later. Yesterday I managed to get all of the rings fixed, so we have numberized every one here, so we have 1 to cylinder 6, and everything looks good. We got it into the specifications I want. Today I was going to measure out some bearing clearances because we're changing one main bearing or 2 depending on what we can find, while we were doing that, me and Rickard was just checking over the block, and we actually discovered something that I have never seen before. On the M104 engines there are oil nozzles, and I've always been trying to be running blocks that are equipped with them, and they look like this. Just a simple oil nozzle that sprays oil on the bottom of the piston. As you can see here, this block is prepared for it, but we actually noticed something that I've never seen before. I've never even reflected of it, but when I was tearing down this block, the oil nozzles were in, so I have never thought about it, but we've been running this block for over a year now, and we actually discovered this. So if you see in these holes, they're actually not drilled. Let's see if we can get a better view here. So there's supposed to be a hole there to let the oil flow up to the oil nozzle, but for some reason this block has been prepped in every way possible without having the holes drilled. So that effectively means that I've been running this full year without any oil nozzles. So mind blown, I've never seen that before. So we're going to, I actually checked off, I have 3 more blocks there, and they're all drilled. So yeah, we're going to try to drill this up. The holes are 5.5 millimeters, so we're going to try to find out a way to drill this up to 5.5 millimeter and somehow make sure that we don't get any debris left in the oil system, so or the channels for the oil. So yeah, pretty weird. Definitely something that I couldn't anticipated of taking more time, but we're going to try to solve it some way. So let's get to it. We have prepped the block now by tapping all of the oil feed points, and then we're going to put the vacuum cleaner here, and hopefully that way, no, we're going to vacuum here, I mean, and try to get as little things as possible going through the oil system. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Jag fattar inte varför det är så. Well, that wraps up today. We had a successful break-in of the rings. Then we did an oil change on the dyno. Went really smooth actually. Then we changed back from the 2050 mineral oil to the 1060 semi-synthetic again. The one that we've been using for the last couple of years. Then we got the car straight up again and went for some dyno pulls, or like power pulls as we call it. We ended up pushing the limits a bit more than usual, just for fun, and Nader is happy. He ended up with 953 wheel horsepower and 1082 Newton at the wheels. Remember, that's on stock piston still with forged rods. And by the way, it's with a reused MLS head gasket, so all of you guys who doubt it, it works. Of course, maybe not the preferred option, but why don't you do it when it works? At least one time I do it on most of my gasket if nothing's wrong with them. But that's it for today. Huge thanks to Nader for doing another good tune, and on Saturday it's time for the first test day of the year, and we're going to Lidköping, new track for Sweden, so it's going to be fun to try something new. And this is the track that we will be doing the probably the only competition this year later in August, so it's going to be fun. So that's it for today. Let's go on to Gothenburg and talk to you soon.